From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, live and direct from Santa Monica, California. Your recon is going to become law in the next 7 to 14 days. Those Senate changes are going to be robust. The biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel, a lot of moolah. Multiple checks, at least $15,000 of them in this incredible recon. I'm going to show you how to get these incredible sums of money and the latest assurances by Leader Schumer that we're going to have a law in our hands. All the latest details breaking in this recording. We'll go over how to get that Christmas stimulus. That is third stimulus, $5,000 on average that you've gotten in their wallet this week. And in the final 5 minutes of this video, I'm going to show you how to get additional sums of this money you haven't gotten before. It's brand new, stay to the final 5 minutes. We'll turn to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. This stimulus, the breaking details about that coming in January, plus the next 48 hours. The most critical 2 days you've ever seen in the history of this channel from the Federal Reserve, as the Federal Reserve has its final meeting of the year and signals where the economy is going next year and whether it's tapering fast and having 1 or 2 interest rate spikes, not a volleyball spike, but a interest rate spike. Those details plus the excitement of having now a third stimulus recon paying your bills right now, putting hard cold cash in your hands right this minute, and fourth stimulus coming right behind it with thousands of dollars, lots of checks, multiple checks. It's a big recording, but if there's ever a week where you don't want to miss a single day or a single recording, it's this. Because in the next 7-14 days, your recon is going to become a law. I'm going to show you why this next 14 days is so important as we go into a big morning, because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing. I'm here, you're here, and the deliciousness of Mornings LA starts right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Here we go. That recon has become a law. It is going to get passed by the Senate in the next 7 to 14 days. It is breaking, and you do not want to miss a single video or a single day on this recording in the next 14 days. This is the critical finish line. The Senate changes are going in there, and they're going to be robust. The programs already in this recon for stimulus pay a lot. It's the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. It's a massive payout. At least $15,000, and you're going to be ready as a purple hawk to pounce. Hawk, and get that money before anyone else. The coffee is brewing, and the butter is buttering as well, because third stimulus is paying out money today, and that is a lot of money. In this recording, we're going to see how to get that average of $5,000 in your hand today to get those big Christmas gifts out across the board. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, the breaking details about this stimulus. And then in the next 48 hours, the Federal Reserve will be meeting and announcing whether they're going to be tapering faster and whether or not they're going to be spiking those interest rates 2 times next year and earlier than initially thought. The toast is toasting as well. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family, so go into this video right now and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. I want you part of the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, the number 1 for geopolitical news. Become a member to get that incredible newsletter tonight at 7 p.m. And then sign up for those LALATE alerts, which is totally free. It is under the video right now. And with that, we go into this incredible recon that is going to be a huge payout to you. It is for stimulus. It's becoming a law in the next few days, and I want you to know every single check that's in there, because you're going to get it across the board. The average payout from this fourth stimulus recon will be about $15,000. But you're going to see very quickly it may be upwards of $60,000. Let's go over each of those clusters, starting with cluster number 1. Hazard pay got in there. And also money for my elder care. Money to care for young children got in there. The Pell Grant, $550 check for the college students, got in there as well. The CTC, $3,600, got in there additionally. And then the home repairs, if you live in a low-income community, got in there additionally. Finally, they got in there money to buy an electric car, $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric car, U.S. auto manufactured, U.S. union labor as well. The first add-on, we have 3 add-ons and 3 clusters, comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here in Southern California. She got it in there. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less. What is this? Free money to buy your first home. Yes, Lynn Glenn and countless other viewers love this provision. This is free money given to the seller in your name at the time of escrow. How do you get this money? Stay with me. Stay to the final lay in this video as we go over how to get each of these incredible checks in this recon. Let's now go to the second cluster of checks, and here we go. Lots of checks in the second cluster. They got in there home repairs, and they got in there also the incredible items of the weatherizing your home. Wow. So they got in there the child care credit, the household tax credit, and the pre-kindergarten, and money to weatherize your home. It's the holiday season, and you never know when there's someone singing. And if Mitch is singing, you need to weatherize your home. To sustain natural disaster. Did you see the performance on Star Search? Oh, you did? Yeah. Your ears are still hurting, aren't they? Yeah. There you go. Let's go to the second add-on. A check comes from the illustrious Bob Casey from Pennsylvania. He wanted to give it to you. He got it in there. It is free coverage for home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Wow, this is incredible. He wanted to give you $250 billion. He got a little bit less. But how do you get this money? Stay with me. It's coming up in just a second. Let's go to that third cluster. Here we go. The third cluster is true deliciousness. They got in there money for seniors and for internet. What is in here? Cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform. Then they got in there free school meals for all checks. They got in there the tax break checks. They got in there the free internet, the money for the farmers, the money for the independent contractors, and then the benefits for the seniors. The seniors got 2 benefits on the House and 3 proposed by the Senate. The House got in there the Medicare expansion with the hearing coverage free and the Medicaid gap fix. The senators vowed to add 3 more, which is dental, vision, and also the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, which truly embodies the situation when we look at House versus Senate right now, which is a dichotomy that is manifested as well in MSC. MSC is an acronym on this channel that describes an instrument the senators have said they want to give it to you. And what does that refer to? It refers to multiple IRS stimulus checks. Now understand, there is multiple checks in this recon, lots of them. That will pay you on average about $15,000. But we call this MSC or IRS stimulus checks because these are the ones that come out from the IRS. Back in the month of May, these senators told thousands of viewers on this channel, it's going in there. And we advocated. But 2 weeks ago, I said it was important to re-advocate to the senators who had told you already it's going in there. And you re-advocated across the board. Janet picked up the phone and contacted Chuck Schumer's office the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and was told it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Then Bonnie picked up the phone and called Liz Warren's office, was told it's going in there. Then Lynn Glenn picked up the phone and called Bob Casey's office and was told it's going in there. Chris Coons' office told Tyrell the same thing, and Donnie and his wife Sharon were told the same thing about Ron Wyden's office. When we talk about an MSC, what do we talk about? They refer to it as the same eligibility as a third stimulus check. And how did that work out? Single individual, $75,000 or less, got it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, they got it as well. Quadruple it. It was not income. It's not taxable. It's offered across all U.S. states, and it's also offered to adult dependents. When we talk about the latest MSC, it's important for you to advocate across the board for its inclusion because guess what? We are 7 to 14 days from this becoming law, and this is the final minutes across the board. And so who do you advocate to? Let's look at those senators that you need to advocate to. And they are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Advocate for its inclusion. The number one guy on this incredible recon, his chief of staff says you need to advocate until we're over the finish line. And that's what this message says here. They now have received between congressional and senators' offices more advocacy for the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. They have a better understanding of what Americans are going through because the LA viewers. They have heartbreaking stories, and they are the voice of the people in ULA, as you have become too loud to be ignored, LA. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy, LA, as the professional voice of the people you have become until this becomes law. But give yourself some time to advocate for your wallet as well, and that involves getting the money for holiday stimulus, aka third stimulus. In the second half of this video, I'm going to show you how viewers have listened, learned, and done it, getting on average $5,000 in the last 2 weeks. They have freed up their bills, and now without having to pay for rent because someone else is paying for it, they have thousands of dollars for holiday gifts this Christmas season. We're going to turn to that student loan debt in the second half of this video. We'll be turning to COLA and your fifth stimulus. Then, the big breaking news in the next 48 hours, the Federal Reserve's announcement of what its new policy will be for next year. That's coming up in the second half of this video. But more importantly, we're going to also turn to fourth stimulus. Those incredible checks that are in that fourth stimulus. How they're going to get it passed and when are they going to get it passed. The Senate changes and how they can get it all done. Those details and more as we come into a big second half. And in the final 5 minutes of this video, I'm going to show you how to get more money from Christmas stimulus you haven't seen before. It's coming up. It's brand new. Stay with me. Stay with the final 5 minutes. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now live from Santa Monica, California as Mornings LA continues in the final 14 days of that recon, the common law. Wow, we're going to go over the breaking details. You don't want to miss a single video or a single day in the next 14 days. This, my friends, is the finish line. The changes are coming, and those programs will pay you out a lot of money. You are learning this information. During the commercial break, someone said her neighbors don't know anything about this stuff. Yeah, that's why you got to watch the videos. This is an informational channel. This is not something you're going to learn because you read a newspaper. You're only going to find it on this channel. The incredible checks in there follow third stimulus, Christmas stimulus. I'm going to show you how to walk away with $5,000 in your hand today. It's incredible. Plus, if you got the money already from third stimulus, I'm going to show you how to get more of it. It's in the final 5 minutes of this video. We're going to turn to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. We'll be turning to the COLA and your fifth stimulus coming up in January. One person in the commercial break said, what happened to that SS200? You haven't been listening. You cannot tune away from this channel for a week and come back. You're going to miss things across the board. It's moving too quickly, folks. And then we're going to go over the next 48 hours, the most important 48 hours of the Federal Reserve of the entire year. Those details and more as we go into a big second half. A lot happening as the toast is toasted and the butter is buttering. But first, I want you to subscribe. Go under this video right now and hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes. Become part of this incredible channel. Become a member today. And get that incredible newsletter that comes out tonight at 7 p.m. via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. And with that, we go into the big second half of this video, starting right now with all the breaking news. We're going to start first with Leader Schumer's latest comments about Christmas and fourth stimulus. A lot happening, and I'm going to go into the details starting right now. And here we go. Leader Schumer, again, in the last 24 hours, reassured American people that he believes that the recon will become a law. This is fourth stimulus recon, become a law by Christmas. Let's go over this. First, I'm going to slow it down. There's two different quotes Leader Schumer saying. One quote he says is that the fourth stimulus recon will be passed by the Senate by Christmas. The other quote is it will become a law by Christmas. Now, They're very different quotes. Why? Because they're changing at least one word in the recon bill. The one word change at least sends it back to the House. The House means you have to vote in the House. Now, they have voted sometimes in the House in 2, 3 hours, but I'm giving that at least 1 day vote. Let's go over the calendar. Does Leader Schumer have enough calendar days to get this to law by Christmas Eve, December 24th? He does, but it's insanely tight. Why? Because you have to have the Senate floor vote, the Senate vote-a-rama, 2 days, the House at maybe a day. That's 4 days. If he starts this coming Monday, he can get it done because 4 days brings you to Friday, the 24th. He can get it done. He has almost no room of error. Now, if he starts the voting this coming weekend, he has a lot of room to wiggle. Do I think he's going to get the voting to a law? Do I think he's going to get the recon to a law by Christmas? I just think it's insanely too tight. I think it's insanely too tight. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to become a law by Christmas. Can he get the Senate to approve it by Christmas? Yeah, Senate is 3 days. If he starts the voting next week, he has 5-day week. He can get it done. It's very, very tight, but I think he can get it done. Next, that's the procedural. The substantive, do I think they're going to get it done? I believe they are because of 3 major changing events that just happened the last few days. Number one, conservative and liberal analysts both agree with me that the recon's becoming law in the month of December. Why? Because it just looks that way at the moment. December meaning the 27th, 28th, 29th, not necessarily the 24th or 23rd. Number two, there's a lot of pragmatic, long-standing, very educated senators who say it's going to become a law in December because it's easy to do in December. It's a mess if you do it in January. Why? Because many of the provisions of the fourth stimulus recon are continuation from provisions under third stimulus. And the way the fourth stimulus is written right now is to continue the currently live law just another year. If they expire, then it's a big problem. And when do they expire? January 14th, but they have to extend them in mid to late December. Number three, there is literally a clear schedule, smooth sailing to get this done because of secret negotiations that happened with Mitch and Chuck starting before Halloween. We learned just a few days ago that Mitch McConnell reached out to Chuck Schumer before Halloween and had private meetings all along saying, I don't want to have any procedural games with you. I want to do everything procedurally bipartisan. You can do your substantive spending however you want to spend it. I'm not going to co-sign it, but I don't want to have any procedural battles with you. And that is why their schedule's not completely free, folks. They've gotten the debt ceiling limit done. They've got the defense spending bill done. They've gotten everything done because of secret meetings. And so all that's left is the recon. And here we go. So let's get that pen and paper out. Now let's remember, when third stimulus became law, I had the expression on this channel, Purple Hawks, before there was an emoji, before there was a membership, to describe that the money is going to come out and it's first come, first serve. You want to get the money before anywhere else. And to get the money, you need to know what the money is. So get that pen paper ready. Start taking notes on the checks that are for you in that fourth stimulus recon. We're going to go over each of them starting right now. Upwards of at least $15,000 of checks. All right, first one got in there. The paid leave. $1,700 a week, approximately, if you make $70,000 or more per year. If you make $35,000 or more per year, about $800 a week. If you make $15,000 or more per year, about $400 a week. Wow, how many weeks? About 4 weeks per year. Yes, it's about $5,000 to $6,000 on the high end. Now, if you don't work, but you live with your son or daughter, and they do work, and they have to take off from work to take care of you and taking you to the doctor once per week, then they're going to get the check. All income levels for any worker, and also all types of workers, W-2 and 1099. They got the SALT cap in there, raising the amount you can deduct on the federal tax return of state and local taxes from $10,000 to $72,500. Wow, that's incredible, great news. They got $40 billion of free job training in there. Wow, that's important. And then they got in there one of the best provisions, I get a question about this daily, the cheaper medical insurance. There's 12 Republican states that vowed never to pay for Obamacare, so they've got a workaround plan in there, the Democrats. They'll provide years of private insurance that is subsidized to low uninsured people in those states. And then we get to the best provision of this recon. You know which one it is. Here comes the big money. The housing. Yes. $150 billion of housing that has 3 new provisions. The home repairs, the the weatherize your home, and the first-time home purchases. That's coming up in a second. But the other three provisions, rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance, which are a continuation from third stimulus. And the great news is you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get it right today. And this is your Christmas stimulus. This is third stimulus. Let's take a step back before we go over this incredible sums of money. In December 2020, we were between the end of first stimulus and waiting for second stimulus, which was not law. And I said you had to have money during the holidays. You had to have your bills paid in December 2020. So I stepped forward and I showed you how to get rent. There wasn't a lot of it because it was first stimulus. There wasn't a lot of it. And you got it. And my message was get the rent, because you don't have to pay $1,000 for rent this month. Then that's $1,000 that can go to Christmas gifts. And Tyrone, his family for out of Boston, was, for example, was one of many viewers, over $250,000 paid out to this channel, that got that rent. He got $15,000, paid all his rent to the new year. Then, in late December, I had a body of legislation, an exclusive on this channel, and I looked at the legislation. I said, this is coming next year. I'm going to call it third stimulus. It has a $14 stimulus check. Don't focus on that. It has about $15,000 of checks in there. I think I can get you. Focus on that. But let's see when it becomes law. When it became law, I said it became law. So now this is about $15,000 of checks in there. Don't focus on the stimulus check because it's only $1,400. And get ready to pounce and get it when it becomes law, because it's first come, first serve. And boy, did you listen and pounce. The average view of this channel got $45,000 when it became law. Over the summer, some people got another round as well. But 2 weeks ago, same situation. Holidays, you need your bills paid. You need to free up some cash, not pay for rent, have some money sitting around to pay some holiday, get some holiday gifts. And I said, get some more third stimulus. This is an eye-opener to a lot of viewers. They said, one, they did not know they can get another round of third stimulus because they got some earlier in the year. Number two, other people who had never gotten it before thought it was gone. It had been used up. Well, it wasn't. And I brought it back on this channel, and boy, have you done well. The average channel viewer in the last 2 weeks has gotten $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent, and 2 utilities. And I'm going to show you how to get that money right now if you haven't gotten it. And if you have gotten it, I'm going to show you in the final 5 minutes of this video how to get more of it that you never got perhaps until today. Let's go over all this incredible money right now, and we're going to go over that rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. But first, let's turn to some of these incredible success stories. Here comes Amy, who is in a rural area of Kentucky, summer shade. So send your deepest thoughts and prayers for all those people ravaged by the tornado area. This message came before the tornadoes were hitting. She wanted you to know that there's money in even the most rural parts of this country. She had gotten 2 rounds of utilities from this channel earlier this year. So she got another utility round this last week. She had gotten 1 round of rent. She got another round this last week, and she got food stamps. And she says, thank you for your unprecedented dedication to help your viewers learn how to attain financial independence during this uncertain times of hardship since the beginning of COVID's appearance in our nation. Your extensive coverage is always pleasant, positive, and witty, and a pillar of help for the American people. I really appreciate that. Here is Judy. Judy listens really well. So she got December, January, and February's rent paid by an organization this last week. She got a check for $3,000. And you know what? With that $3,000, she was able to go buy some holiday gifts. Last year, I got that money, and now I'm getting another round. She got $3,000 last year for this channel. She got another $3,000, and now she says, I'm able to get Christmas gifts I wanted to give my loved ones. You are Jesus in disguise. I really appreciate that. Sandra got some money as well. She said, well, I thank you for everything you do for people around the world and their bills, and with everyone, thank you for your incredible help. I really appreciate that. There's Sonia, and there is also Thorn Diaz, who got 4 months of rent just a few days ago. Here is Deborah, who got money. Chef John Meyer says, you're always awesome. I appreciate Chef John Meyer. He got money as well. Lynn Glenn, you know her. She got rent early this year, so she got another round. She said, I'm never gonna stop watching you. I really appreciate that. There's Robin. She got 3 rounds and then 3 rounds in the same week. How do you do that? It's coming up in a second. She says, you're angel in disguise. I appreciate that. We have Dee Miller. She got about $3,000. And then we have Madonna, who got 3 rounds this week. We have Kathy, who last week says she got about $6,000. And she says, you're a godsend. I really appreciate that, Kathy. And then we have Morel, who got 3 rounds. We have Mei Lu. You know why I love Mei Lu's story? It's because there's an update. I had always featured Mei Lu in the last 2 weeks. She had gotten about 4 or 5,000. 3 items. Well, and she says, you're the best. Well, she's the best because guess what? She heard my recordings. She went back and got another $700 this weekend. Incredible. I'm going to go back to Mei Lu in the final 5 minutes of this video. Scarpy got money. Melissa Justice got about 10,000. And there's Jay Grant, who says, I speak for all of us. We love you to death. We couldn't have done this without you, LA. He got another $5,000. And then I'm going to end with Chris. I like Chris's story because he got $10,000 from this earlier this year. 10,000. He said, I would have never known that I can get another round until I heard your recording this last week. He got $5,000. So let's go over how you get this money right now. This is your Christmas stimulus. This is money paying right now. Very quick turnaround times. And we're starting with the rent. It has gone up a lot. Here you go. It was $20,000 to $30,000 3 months ago. This is a graphic from 3 months ago. It is now $40,000. We had one viewer who got a great sum just a few days ago. Where do you get this money? Are you ready? Here we go. Take notes. 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. Follow along with your newsletter if you're watching right now with that newsletter in front of you. There are 3 musts. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must get multiple applications on file. And you must get multiple rounds. So if you got 1 round early this year, get another round today. If you got a round from one organization yesterday, get another round from another organization today. Do the same thing with mortgage assistance. Then, when we turn to utilities, reach out to all your utility companies and ask for utility assistance because of COVID. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000. SNAP is money for food you get from the Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them and get it. If you got a third stimulus check, you should not be paying for your food. This is food. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year over 10 years. That is $250,000. Combo. Start of Nisi and Art Sullivan. They got 3 items. I said, everyone get 3, like Nisi and Art. Well, here's Mark. He was at 32,000 at the time with 2 items. I said, Mark, go get your third. He got his third, which brought him to 50,000. Now he's at over 100,000 across the board. We have a Lorraine. She was at 105, and she has gotten more. Now she's at 120. And then we have the incredible story of the viewers that came in last week. One viewer got $138,000 last week for his family for multiple items for third stimulus. Biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel for one package for one family. And another viewer got about $40,000 from just rent this last week. But then we turn to Johnny, an incredible 3-part story that shows you how to do this. Follow along with your newsletter right now. Let's go over the details. Johnny, part 1. He started a week with 0, and by Wednesday had $45,000 from 3 programs approved, just like 2 other viewers that same week. But he heard my recordings in which I say, get as many rounds and as many different items approved as possible. So he kept on calling throughout that rest of the week, and by the end of the week, he had 7 programs approved. Why do I like part 1 of the story? Because Johnny made a lot of phone calls. You're going to have a 20 to 50% rejection rate on the phone. So expect it. And he did. And he had to make at least 15 phone calls to have 7 yeses. That's what I like about this story, part 1. How much did he get in those 7 days? $80,000. Part 2 of his incredible story, the following Monday. He reached out to his 2 family members. I said, hey, I got money last week, $80,000 from LA. They said, from what? He said, from third stimulus. He said, I haven't heard about this anywhere. No, someone in the live chat during the commercial break said, I talked to my neighbors about this stuff and they never heard of it. Yeah, it's not covered. It's not covered. It will never be covered. And this is why you are an elite group that is getting big sums of money. You're not going to walk to the local Dairy Queen or the supermarket and have a conversation about this because people just don't know about it unless they're viewers of this channel. So he told those 2 family members, and by the end of the week, they went from non-believers to believers, and each got $50,000. Wow. The third part of Johnny's story came in 2 Sundays ago. He sent me a private message, said, people just kept on coming over the house, hearing about what I was doing, saying, you're the only one we're hearing about doing this. You and what you've learned from LALATE. So I'd show them the LA videos, says Johnny. We'd watch them together. I'd go over their situation, and I ended up helping 32 people, says Johnny. I said, Johnny, how much did you get from third stimulus for those 32 people? He says, $850,000. Become a member right now, folks. Go right on the video right this moment and sign up for that membership newsletter that comes out tonight. You want to get that incredible sums of money available under third stimulus. It features the 6 places you reach out to covered in this video, the keywords you say covered in this video, the 3 musts covered in the video, and cover stuff not detailed in this video, like the 5 nonprofits, what the 5 nonprofits pay for, the 1 nonprofit that pays for home repairs. It features the important letter from Treasury, which is important to read before you reach out to these organizations. This is why members of this channel are winning across the board. Become a member today. And with that, let's go right back into for stimulus, where we left off at the provision of housing. The provision of housing has 3 new provisions in there, and those new provisions are weatherizing your home, which is for all types of homes. And then the next item they have in there is the home repairs for low-income homes. And finally, they have in there the first-time home buyers. This is money given to the seller in your name by the federal government at the time of escrow. Let's turn back into the other provisions that are incredible in this recon. They got in there $150 billion of in-home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Incredible. They got in there the incredible $550 check for the Pell Grant for my college students, and $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufactured, U.S. union labor in U.S. soils. But then, one of the best provisions of the recon, cheaper medicine. This is Medicare Part B. Medicare Part D, the most expensive medication for seniors, like cancer, arthritis, diabetes. A dose of insulin going from $1,000 to $35 out the door. Yes, it's incredible. It will start with 20 medications on day 1 and grow to 30 medications by the year 2028. Cannot increase more than the rate of inflation per year, or there's a penalty provision in the recon. A penalty provision? You can't have a penalty provision in the recon. Who told you you can put that in there? That's what Senator Pat Toomey, GOP leader, says does not belong in there. And I agree. And that is what you're going to see this week, as early as today. This is why you cannot miss a single video or a single week. Because I could literally come on a camera and say, guess what? This provision's gone. It was removed by the Senate parliamentarian. Who is she? She's a nonpartisan individual. And today, this week, is the final week. She's going to determine what's in there and could stay in there, and what is coming out. And what is at issue? First, that penalty, it's coming out. The immigration reform, highly likely coming out. She previously said cannot go in there. The paid leave, maybe you really like the paid leave, it's on the battleground. It may come out. If a provision comes out, the money goes somewhere else. If the paid leave stays in there, we can have a big issue, because Joe Manchin says he's voting against the recon if the paid leave does stay in there. Very interesting across the board. Now, this graphic here, 15,000. Yeah, you already seen. There's more than $15,000 of multiple checks in there. You got everything repeated from third stimulus that pays you at least $45,000. You have the Senate changes in there, and you have those add-ons from Maxine and Bob Casey. So it's clearly $50,000 to $60,000 of checks in there. What else is in there? So we have those provisions that are new and the provisions that are set to expire, which they don't want to have expire. The provisions that are new that are going in there are the home health care, which is a covered check, the hearing, which is a check itself. We have the Pell Grant we already went over, the nutrition, and then we have the universal pre-kindergarten 3 to 4 year olds. What are the provisions that are expiring? The earned income tax credit, the child care, and also the CTC, the child tax credit. But one of those other provisions that are going in there, Bernie represents he's adding those 3 provisions for the Medicare expansion in there. Those checks could grow it even bigger. We'll go back to that 4 stimulus recon in just a second with my commentary in the final 5 minutes and showing you how to get other sums of money from third stimulus brand new today. But first, let's take a detour over to student loan debt forgiveness. Student loan debt forgiveness has an executive order offer on the table, $10,000. The Democrats should take it. The president previously forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation. People went to work in the nonprofit sector, and people went to work in the public sector. Fifth stimulus and COLA raise. Your benefits are going up January 1, 5.9% lifetime. But fifth stimulus seeks to replace this situation because COLA is not enough. As I said during the commercial break, someone said, whatever happened to SS200? Not been tuning in because I've been talking about that for a while. It's gone. It ain't coming back. This stimulus is the biggest payday, a lot more than SS200. This stimulus comes in and pays you a big lift up one time, saying that you've been undervalued. You have been undervalued. Then it seeks to tie you to a new benchmark, removing COLA in December 2022 and replacing it with inflation. Remove the income cap, removing the asset cap, and removing the marriage penalty. Meantime, what's happening in the next 48 hours starting tomorrow? The two most critical days of the Federal Reserve of 2021. You need to know what's going on with them. It's very deeply important to you. And we're going to go into them right now. When the pandemic first hit, the Federal Reserve, led by Jay Powell, started buying mortgage-backed securities to provide support to the economy in case of liquidity problems, such as people making a run on banks, taking out all the cash, worried we're going to go, burn up in hell. When the pandemic first hit, we didn't know what this pandemic was. Well, clearly we weren't running out of cash. Clearly we don't need this anymore. And so the Federal Reserve has talked about removing it. The removing of it, it's called tapering. Do you do a fast removal or do you do a quick removal? The other issue is interest rate lifts and how much of them and how many of them and how soon of them. 1 month ago, we were looking at a slow tapering and one interest rate spike in perhaps the end of 2022. Today, we are less than 48 hours away from 2 days of meetings starting on Tuesday and Wednesday, at which the Federal Reserve is going to announce its policy for next year. Will it be what it was predicted just a month ago, or will it be this new normal? I am predicting it's going to be the new normal, which will be faster tapering, and not one interest rate spike at the end of 2022, but two interest rate spikes, with the first one at the start of next year, Q1. Why? The Federal Reserve now has 3 economic data points that came in the last 2 weeks, and they are insanely high, meaning the economy is too strong. It needs to come in and remove these items right away. Number one, 2 weeks ago, the jobs number, monthly number, came in, and it showed the lowest unemployment number since nearly a half century. Federal Reserve and the White House and myself have always said unemployment is the gauge of where we're going. The unemployment was so good, it was basically where the Fed wants it for next year. So it's too good, the number. Number two, the number of people on the sideline not participating in the labor market, no longer an issue. They came back in record numbers. Okay, so that was the first data point. What was the second data point? Last Thursday, when this channel launched on April 25th, 2020, and I pressed record, and you were home in lockdown, there were 1 million unemployment claims, new unemployment claims per week. 1 million. Continue for 25 weeks, the worst since the Great Depression. We're no longer there. We came to 800, then 700, then 600. Pre-pandemic, we were 250. We weren't even 250 less than a month ago. We were above it. And what happened? We quickly started dropping very quickly. And last Thursday's number was 189,000 new unemployment claims, the lowest number ever seen since the 1960s. And guess what? The U.S. population in the 1960s versus the U.S. population now, this is perhaps the lowest number ever in recorded history based upon population size. That was the second data point. The third one was the inflation number, came in last Friday. Now, I think I deserve a pat on my back on this one. When I was covering fifth stimulus all this last summer with you, talking about the new benchmark of inflation starting in December 2022, I said, where will inflation be in December of 2021? Where will inflation be at the end of this year? I initially told you 10%. And then I felt I was a little too high. I felt sort of like a peer pressure because everyone was so low. Jeremy Siegel was the only one higher than me, the Wharton School professor. He was at 20%, which I thought was way too high. Federal Reserve was at 2 to 3%. Wall Street was at 3%. I said, hogwash. It is not going to be 2 to 3%. It's not going to be 2 to 3%. I think the Federal Reserve has it wrong. I said, I'll come off at 10. I'll come to 5. I'll say 5%. Also, the Federal Reserve was saying it's going to be transitory, which is temporary. Remember that hand gesture I did? Up and then down, that hand gesture, which referred that it was going to go up in December and come back down. I said, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think it's going to be here for a while. Well, the number that came in last Friday showed, 1, it's not temporary. 2, it's not going to go away in January. Number 3, it was not 2 to 3%. It was exactly where I predicted it, 6.9%, between that 5 and 10% ratio. This is exactly where I had predicted it. And guess what? Those three data points now signal that the Federal Reserve is likely to come in the next 24, 48 hours with those two meetings starting on Tuesday and Wednesday and say two interest rate spikes. First one, Q1 2022, and we're going to taper faster. And Wall Street's not ready for it. Wall Street is not ready for this. So expect a major crash of Wall Street this week. Expect crypto to crash even more this week. Wall Street has already gone down 1,000 points, not recovered much. And crypto's down 50% and still actually imploding, getting worse. So that's that. And with that, let me go into the final 5 minutes, the most important 5 minutes of this video, as we go into Leader Schumer and the president and everything that's happening with this recon in the next 7 to 14 days. I got a lot. Plus, I had that extra money for you that I promised to show you how to get that extra money from third stimulus. And it starts right now. If there was ever a time and place that I said, don't miss it, it's now. Between now and the next 14 days, you absolutely have to be promising to yourself. You cannot miss a video and certainly not miss a day on this channel. There's too much moving too quickly. And what's happening is that when the fourth stimulus becomes law, it's going to be first come, first serve. Remember the Purple Hawks. Hawk, you get that money before anyone else. You need to know what the money is. So as soon as it becomes law, I have to show you what it is. And as soon as it's law, you have to be ready to pounce. If you show up after it's law and say, hey, where's the provision? It was removed 3 days ago. What do you mean it was removed 3 days ago? I didn't tune in for 2 days. Yeah, you cannot miss anything. This week, the Senate parliamentarian is ruling on taking provisions out or leaving them in. There's that issue. Then we have the final negotiations for these leaders. Things may come out, things may go in. So you absolutely cannot miss a single video. All right, let's go over timeline. Will you be getting anything from fourth stimulus in your wallet before Christmas? Absolutely not. I've been telling you that for 3 weeks, and you know that as well. You're not getting anything in your wallet from fourth stimulus before Christmas. Are you getting anything in your wallet before December 31st, New Year's Eve, from fourth stimulus? Highly unlikely. I mean, it's not impossible, but highly unlikely. There was one viewer who's a very nice viewer in the live chat yesterday who said, well, last year when that thing became law, I got the check within 10 seconds. I was making videos in February for people who had still not gotten the money. Yeah, I understand Cash and Chime were delivering money overnight, but you are not going to see, in my predictions, anything in your wallet or your hand from fourth stimulus before New Year's Eve. But that is why you have done it so well, and I'm so proud of you in listening to third stimulus. Third stimulus is your Christmas stimulus. You do not have to pay that for that December rent. Instead of not having to pay $1,000 for the rent because someone else is paying for it, $1,000 will stay in your wallet. And with that $1,000, you're getting some holiday gifts for people. And I brought that third stimulus back on this channel 2 weeks ago because I knew the importance of getting your bills paid and freeing up cash. We did this last year when Tyrone and his family flew out of Boston, got that incredible $15,000 of rent, paying all the way to the new year, and getting that cash to buy those holiday gifts. When I brought it back on this channel 2 weeks ago, I did not know you would be so incredibly successful. But this is what we have done on this channel. When second stimulus, we were waiting for it to come and you needed money in December 2020, I said, here's how you can get some money. When third stimulus became law, I said, here is how you can get this massive payout from third stimulus. And you cleaned up $45,000. You had now done this twice. You knew how to do it. Even if you found this channel, maybe it was your first time. Now we're in December. You're doing perhaps the third time that you've got to the sums of money. You're used to getting these incredible details. How do you get more of it? And this is where we turn back to Mei-Lu. There's two ways to get more of this money. If you've already gotten $5,000 of this holiday Christmas stimulus in the last 2 weeks, how you can get more of it starting right now. The first way is the most obvious. In those success stories, most viewers are getting 2 utilities. Well, you and I know you got 4 utilities, 3 utilities. Go get that other utility. That's what May Lou did over the weekend. She got an extra $700. $700 is a lot of Christmas gifts, folks. I don't know what type of gifts you give, but $700 is a lot for Christmas. Maybe you got a 10-person, maybe a Brady Bunch family at home, but $700 a lot for Christmas gifts. So she got an extra $700 with one utility bill paid. Get that extra utility bill paid so you exhaust all the utility bills. The second way you do it is you can get an additional round from another organization. So let's say you got rent for November and December yesterday from one organization. Reach out to another organization, get that rent for January, February, and March. You can do it. Get that additional round of money. This is how we rock and roll. Now, let's go over past, present, and future. Past. On day one, when I pushed record on this channel, there were millions of Americans who had applied for an EIDL loan and grant and had not gotten it. They had applied for it, asked for it, and had not gotten it. And so they wanted to go on their phone or their computer to look up a video to explain, how do I get the EIDL loan? A how-to video. How do I get this money? And that's what I recorded day one. And every video thereafter, how do I get PUA? How do I get FPUC? How do I get this? Was about how do I get the money? When second stimulus was percolating, I was showing you the onset of a new body of legislation coming in 2021, third stimulus, and showing you how do you get all these many checks in third stimulus that'll pay you on average about $15,000 in spring of 2021. You listened, you took notes, you learned how to get the money. And when you did, you cashed out at about $45,000. In the last 2 weeks, we did it again. I showed you how do you get that holiday stimulus, that's third stimulus, a second round, even if you got it before, or if you never got it before, your first time. And I made the recording and showed you how to do it. As we go into a new year, it's going to be much the same. When fourth stimulus becomes law, we're immediately going to see on this channel me showing you how to get every single check. So when you're watching a video, make sure you take notes about a particular program, because you want to know everything about the program so that when it becomes live, you pounce first. It's going to be a tsunami of people trying to get this money, and you want to be first in line across the board. Next, it's important to understand that you are a breed apart from everyone else. As that person said during the commercial break, when they try to have conversations with people on the neighbors and sisters and brothers, they don't know about this because they're not watching the videos. Because this is informational. It's informational. It's just like, how do you fix your carburetor? You open a YouTube video and you say, YouTube, how do I fix my carburetor? There's a guy making a video, or gal. How do you fix your carburetor? Here I'm showing you how to get the money under fourth stimulus, how to get the money under third stimulus across the board. Now, earlier this year, I said you're going to get financial independence this year, because financial independence means getting big cash, lots of it, right away. And that when you free up cash, you have other money stay in your wallet. And for like viewers like Judy, who says, I was able to get now $3,000 for rent for 4 months, and now I'm able to get holiday gifts. That's how we do it across the board. But earlier this year, I also delivered a new character to this channel. I called him the Donut Guy. The Donut Guy doesn't want to do anything except eat his donut, and just says, what day is it landing? When am I receiving it? He doesn't want to learn anything. He doesn't want to educate himself about anything. He doesn't want to hear an informational video. He just wants to know what day is he receiving a check. And I predicted in early 2021 that Donut Guy will end the end of the year exactly the way he started, with not a penny more. And guess what? He is. Donut Guy is not going to be with a single penny more than he started the year. When there was all this available money under third stimulus, he passed up. He didn't want to learn about it. But you can never convince a Donut Guy to do anything otherwise. I said for you to ignore that type of person. If you see them around, you see them in the live chat, that person who simply wants something to automatically land in the mailbox, you're going to go into Christmas not seeing something automatically land in the mailbox, or go into New Year's Eve, something not automatically land in the mailbox, because it was never going to be that way. It was always going to be the applying the information and getting those incredible sums of money. Future, where are we going for next year? As we go into the next year, we have third stimulus still paying out. So I'll still be covering out how to get this incredible money of third stimulus. Then, as fourth stimulus becomes a law, I'm going to go over every check in that fourth stimulus. New videos are coming to this channel that are also informational based that shows you how to make money in the metaverse and offline out of the metaverse, showing you how to make that money across the board. I'm so incredibly proud of you. So, one, please get every single penny from third stimulus this week. We have a full business week that's available. Get those people on the phone, the utilities companies, and all across the board. Sign for that incredible membership link and join me all throughout the day. We have a new programming block on this channel now on evenings. It's a great programming block, 3 hours of shows. We go evenings LA brand new at 5, evenings countdown at 6, stream and stimulus holiday edition at 7, and then at 8 o'clock is the new Calcino. And then in the midday, we have Holidays LA coming up at 11 o'clock, which is about a little bit after this. We have Mornings Crypto, which is live on air, coming up in just about 5 minutes after this. I have to go on to crypto with you today because that Fed announcement is really going to take a hit on crypto, and you got to be ready for that. So with that, I want you to be part of this incredible family and go down this video and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1.5 years. I want you to be part of this incredible family. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Join me on Mornings Crypto coming up in just 5 minutes, and then Holidays LA. What are we going to talk about this Holidays LA? It's live on air. I'll be in the live chat with you. It's at 11 a.m. in less than about 15 minutes from now. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful day across the board. Happy holidays. Deepest prayers for all those people in those Midwest states ravaged by the horrible tornadoes. Stay informed, stay focused. Stay with LA for more.